a chart up in here. All right, so let's see if this doesn't crash anything. That'd be great. So hopefully you see my TrendSpider chart. Tomorrow I will have I'll be doing the stream in the morning. I'll be showing you guys how I use TrendSpider to make trades or find trade setups. But essentially, I traded Facebook yesterday morning, was able to capture this move, did not get back in on the pullback to VWAP, but there's a beautiful VWAP pullback. My target was essentially 215. I didn't really care to get much more above 215. So once it hit that range, I was out of the trade, but there was a great secondary entry. And you could see just closed at near high a day, continue to trade sideways in the pre-market. And this is the 50 SMA daily. So this particular zone, you can create an alert on this moving average. And this is a 5-minute chart versus a daily moving average. So creating an alert when it gets hit or the 5-minute candle bounces on it, you can get really intricate with the alert system. But this was my main point of focus this morning. So as price jumped up, pulled all the way back, I didn't want to hop in early this morning, just looking at the overall price action of the market, waited for that pullback, start accumulating a position down at the 50 SMA. And as long as it holds, then it's time to get in. The best time to get in was below VWAP. Getting above, you got quite a bit of chasing going on once it starts to get above. But yeah, so we've got kind of just this big U shape here, and I'll show you guys another kind of interesting factor for intraday price targets. This is a 5-minute now versus hourly moving average. So you can see kind of how price behaves around these hourly moving averages when we're in a downtrend. We've got the whole 9. This is the whole moving average 9 on the hourly. This is the 5 EMA on the hourly. This is the 9 EMA in the hourly, 21. I got the 34. I use the same moving averages on an hourly chart that I will for a daily chart. And, you know, the way the stock behaves when it's above or below, the price action is still number one. The volume, the pattern is number one. I'm not saying you guys should make a trading plan decisions based on the exact movements of the moving averages and how price touches it. But we've got this huge kind of inverse head and shoulder setup right here with the left shoulder and right shoulder. It's not super clean, but this type of price action is not something you want to short. This is a very nice bullish reversal. And now that it's hitting this level, this could be a good profit level if you're trading this intraday. I actually might end up holding this for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks in the earnings run up. And depending on how the way the stock behaves throughout the day today, I'll kind of keep an eye on it and set some alerts. And if something happens, then I'll exit the trade. But I wanted to show you guys also want to draw some drawings. So we've got this kind of downtrend. Now this is the major channel that we fell out of on Facebook. So let's switch to an hourly chart and see if we can scroll back. Okay, so there was a lot of buying off this zone, and this is a very, very awesome, this is one move you should definitely have in your playbook. When you get a stock like this that's been trading for over a month with a big angular support that finally breaks down. So now I've got an hourly versus daily. It actually broke down below the 50 SMA, which we were just showing you on the 5-minute chart. When this trend line breaks on news or some event, and it was otherwise in a bullish uptrend, almost always the shorts that jumped in through here need to end up covering, and they typically cover back to the former angular support, which is right here. So again, you could create an alert at this line. You want to know when a 5-minute candle starts to touch or bounce. You're going to get an alert when it's in the zone. And when this candle finishes printing, we're going to get a heads up. Now you notice that there's kind of this thick highlighted purple area. This is kind of a buffer zone. So you can adjust your buffer zone pretty easily just by editing the alert or deleting it. I'm actually going to delete this one and redo it. So maybe you want to set it so it's a little bit closer. So maybe within 14 cents, if you get a 5-minute candle, touches or bounce, that's kind of your profit taking target zone, right? Right through here. And sometimes downtrends continue, right? So this could actually still downtrend from here and make a lower low, go back to the 200 SMA. That would be not good for longs. We'd want to adjust the trade, based on the price action after it retraces and touches this line. So little combination of price action, the patterns, get the moving averages kind of dialed in right, and you can put together a pretty nice day trading plan using TrendSpider, and it's super, super easy to just cycle through the time frames and actually see really good entries and exits. So that's what we're gonna kind of cover tomorrow. I'll go more into depth on this, but I just wanted to hop in real quick. And another thing, let me check, because I think TrendSpider is having a 4th of July sale. That's pretty good. Let's see, they sent me something. If you guys have any questions too, just feel free to type them in the chat. If you're having problems getting into the new futures room, send us an email. We can help you with that. All right, guys, there's the link. So TrendSpider is doing, they're still doing their free trial, but they're also doing 35% off. So normally, I think the best you'll typically see is 20, sometimes 30, but 35% is a pretty good deal. So you can try it out and get ready for, maybe to chart along with me tomorrow using TrendSpider. And then we can get you guys trained and answer questions on how to use the platform. Again, I'm just using it in one kind of small way, but there's many different ways to, match TrendSpider to your trading style and use it effectively to really see these entries and exits really cleanly. So all good stuff with that, guys. If you guys got questions, you can always type in the chat, shoot us an email, and we'll be here in the background. I'm going to shut down my mic and screen for a little bit. But like Creed said, probably one of the mods will hop in later. Tuesdays, there's an open slot for the afternoon for guests. We just didn't have any guests scheduled right now because of the kind of the holiday week. But we're working on something also really cool for penny stocks. So we might be getting a penny stock focused mainly, like, so basically no futures, really very few options, maybe 5% of the time, talk a little bit of options content coming in here. So if you're feel like you're missing out on the small caps, the penny stocks, the micro caps, the junk stocks, maybe mid caps, but we're going to focus mainly on that. So that is something that is I'm pretty excited about. I had an almost 2-hour call yesterday with the guy, and I've known him for a year, and he's been doing really, really great work. He's an honorable person, just like everybody in the team. I've hired pretty much everyone except Angel, because Lucian knew Angel from a previous, they were friends before we started the Bullish Bears. But so we're just going to focus a little bit on that and try to balance it out. So there could be some schedule changes in the future with the time slots changing around, but we really want to focus on that because we realize a lot of people, and this is a big point, is that we're here every day. Some of you guys are brand new and you're just starting in trading, so you're probably a little overwhelmed at times with futures, with options and Greeks, and with some of the large caps. And you might eventually end up trading those, but at first you're kind of like maybe a little intimidated. The style of teaching can be applied to everything. So the stuff that I'm doing on TrendSpider could easily be done on a penny stock that's running, right? So if I look at Creed screen right now and take a look at the trade idea scanner, if you guys are on the trade idea scanner, there's a few stocks. Let's see, on the surging volume, we've got, let's see, high RSI, NEM, volume today. I'm looking for, okay, here's a good example. WKHS. All right. So you can see price action on this versus price action on Facebook, very, very different. Well, it depends on your budget. You're gonna want, so it's, oops, let me turn that down. I forgot I got the Benzinga YouTube stream up. Let me find which window that's in. Okay. Charlie scared me there for a second. It depends on your budget. I would recommend that you guys not pay for it if you can't afford it, obviously, number one. Number two, basic is super basic and not good enough. Premium is certainly good enough with the alerts and the data feed. So I would say premium. Elite would only be if you're looking for more alerts. I forget, there's a very couple differences in the TrendSpider pricing. I know you get more alerts. I'm just looking at their pricing page now. All right, so Elite. Oh, did they change they might have changed the wording around. Hang on a sec. So real-time data for premium, Forex, smart charts, automated, multi-factor alerts. So you do get multi-factor alerts, which are a little bit more in depth. I need to go into more and show you guys that. But you get the after hours data. Yeah, I actually think you guys should get the Elite. They changed the names around. I haven't looked at this in a while with the pricing. It used to be called Basic, and it looks like they got rid of Basic and kind of made a couple other plans. The Master looks pretty good. I like the 50% more workspaces. 100 more scanner results. I think you guys should go with the Elite. Double the workspaces, intraday scanning. Yeah, you almost kind of have to. If you're day trading, if you're swing trading, I could see you getting away with the first plan. If it has Elite in the name, I'm in, right? My TOS Benzinga is not working. Well, yeah. Thinkorswim gets a feed. Ooh, I just like unplugged my monitor. Yikes. Hang on, I gotta stop streaming in the futures room. All right, that was an interesting experiment. Yeah, so Thinkorswim gets a feed from Benzinga, and it's it's third party, so it's Benzinga being funneled through Thinkorswim. The Benzinga news scanner was still working because I was just listening to it on YouTube. So you might have to reset Thinkorswim, but that is pretty cool that you can listen to Squawk through Thinkorswim. That's a pretty neat feature. So I wanted to show you guys just an example of a penny stock. So you can see this is 5-minute versus daily time frame. WKHS yesterday, right off the 5 EMA pretty beautifully. Then a big bull flag, broke through the hole, pulled back to VWAP. There were several entries, re-entries at VWAP when the volume came back in. And then again, pulled back towards the end of the day, later half of the afternoon, smacked right off that 5 EMA daily, reversed, and closed at near high a day, which typically when stocks, this is not a golden rule, but when stocks close at or near high a day, that's usually very bullish for the next day. But there's obviously other factors that come into play. And you could see just the back test off the hole. Now I started using this later, so I've been using TrendSpider for a couple years now, and I added the whole 9 daily, and I noticed that it was above the regular 9. It was above the 5 EMA. So this is kind of like my extreme momentum line. We're above this or back testing this and running. That's an extremely bullish thing. So pretty wild entries, right, in the pre-market through here. And then obviously the first 5 minutes, we pulled almost all the way back, shook out. And, you could be up and down in the same 5-minute candle very quickly. So this particular stock, extremely challenging to trade. Now it's a lot higher price than it was going back even just a few weeks. But, this was a penny stock and now it's almost $20. And let's see if we can find something that's a little bit, if I looked at anything that's maybe under $10 lately. This is kind of like my recently viewed on TrendSpider. Let me look at Creed's screen again. Let's see. Well, Workhorse is hitting high day. And I'm looking for high volume. So DVAX has high volume today. Right? Am I seeing that right? 5 million shares. So DVAX, I don't have the 9 EMA and the 5-minute. This particular stock, this is one caveat with TrendSpider, depending on what stock you're looking at and the way it's calculated, you might not be able to put daily moving averages over a 5-minute chart, in which case, sometimes you got to step up to a 15-minute to kind of see those. It's not even doing it here. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong stock. That doesn't help. Let's go back to, let's try this again. All right. I mean, it's still saying that it can't do it on this particular one. Hourly sometimes will let us. Okay. Hourly is letting us. So here's some hourly candles. Again, penny stock under $10. I look at penny stock still, stocks under $10, but great entries off the daily moving averages, right? So you're seeing price action gap up, gap and crap, and eventually break out. And when you turn off the non-regular hours trading data, it will let you draw your own trend lines and you can spot. So here's that big gap up day, right? So if we turn this back on, we'll get kind of some trend line idea. I look at a chart at this point, I could start seeing trend lines without really even needing to draw them. But of course, TrendSpider will draw their own trend lines for you, and you can turn trend lines on for the first time frame and the second time frame that you're analyzing, and it will help spot these breakout levels, which are really, really cool. Nice. I don't know. I'm probably going to hold. This one is out of the money going into earnings when the market is extremely still bullish and not ready to crash yet. So I might hold this one for a week. I might hold for a day. I'm not sure because I'm trading out of the money. If I was day trading this, I certainly would have wanted to go a little bit closer in the money. If my only intention was to day trade it, I still might end up day trading it because of the way that it behaves today. But typically, I wouldn't say buy a 250 call for day trading. I mean, you'd be up, maybe 11 or 12% on that particular move. But Yeah. So, I mean, if you had traded, say closer to at the money, you might be up 70, 80% right now, almost 100%, right? Really good move. And now we're starting to hit TrendSpider's identifying this as some daily trend lines. This could be a problem for it. This could be a big problem. Could pull back through here now, maybe cup and handle, could completely reverse. We don't know what a stock's going to do. We only know that we need to start managing our risk depending on our entry. We should start thinking about, what's going to happen next. So, this could do several things. This type of price action could just, pause, cup and handle. This could turn into another big flag, break out further, push to the 5 EMA daily. We got our 9 EMA daily up near 227, 230. We got a cluster of daily moving averages way up here. That's all part of this gap. So we could actually retrace all this and be, up near 237 before this thing fully reverses again and starts falling, or maybe it holds. Again, depending on your entry, you're managing the trade very differently throughout the process of of the candlesticks, and you're just kind of taking it as you go along. Another play we could have done today, we could have sold puts. So if you're taking our next level training content that's teaching you how to actually trade credit spreads, debit spreads, you might have traded a bull put spread here. So you would have sold something like the 215 puts that, expire this week, next week, and you would have bought maybe the 210s or the 212.50s if they have those. I think Facebook is one of those that's every 250. So here we go. Look at this, the way this is rejecting right here. So TrendSpider pretty on the money with the trend lines, I will say. And yeah, so there's several different ways to make money when a stock starts running. CB is taking a short right here. That's a great idea for a short scalp. Now look how far off this is off the 9 EMA 5-minute, right? Here's our 9 EMA 5-minute. You hear me talk about riding the 9. You hear us talking about the 9 EMA on different time frames. Well, we're 222 is the closest right now that the 9 EMA is to it. So this actually hit 223.60. That's a $1.50 move to the downside potential. And it could also back test this trend line. So maybe it dips a little bit below the 9 EMA and then starts to run again. But this is a huge move for Facebook. 219 to 223, 223.60, 223. What did this top tick? Just a little bit past 50. Really good move. So you can, if you miss this move, you do what CB is doing right now, trying to get a quick little scalp off the top. It's still a very, very hot. A lot of times when we're in a situation like this, rather than short, I look to buy the dip. So and I say that because this chart got broken and smashed up so bad. It's now going through this recovery process. People are starting to see it bounce. What's the mindset? Is the mindset, oh, I want to, hop in short on this while price action moved up so heavy yesterday, it's moving up today? Or is the mindset, hey, let me look to buy the dip. Maybe Facebook's going to go back up. You need to start thinking about the traders and the investors, the way that they're thinking about a stock that is one of the top 10 market cap stocks in the world for value and growth that gets crushed on some news that probably the company's going to do everything in their power to try to fix that bad news. And people are going to say, oh, there's a margin of safety here. Oh, this thing's oversold. And they're going to look to try to buy the dips. That doesn't mean bad news can't come out and, knock this down again. That's the stock market. There's always going to be uncertainty and unknown. No one can read the future. But you think about what group of traders, what group of investors you're dealing with on a chart. They're just looking at price going up. They might not even be looking at the patterns. They just say, oh, wow, Facebook's really recovering from that sell-off. I wish I bought yesterday, and now I'm going to buy today, right? They're missing out. it doesn't matter to me. So I've got regular candles up, but the Heikanashis are fabulous. They're absolutely fabulous, and you can get away. You can get away with either the regular candles. It's going to be a little bit cleaner. The Heikanashis are going to show wicks below ride the 9 a little bit more, which it's kind of like a toss up. So if you're liking the trend of the Heikanashi candles and you feel like that's helping you more versus the regular candles that don't wick below the 9 EMA, it's kind of a matter of preference. But I typically almost always have Heikanashi candles up, and I love them for just really how clean they are. And I mean, you could see right here yesterday, we didn't get one close below the 9 once the bell rang on Facebook. And we really could have stayed up. I could have stayed in that trade a little bit further. I remember kicking myself for taking profit at my target and not letting it run a little bit, letting your winners run. But again, if I was watching all these wicks and I'm watching, okay, is this going to stall out? And then, of course, the market loves to do this. Just when you think it's going to stall out, it pushes a little bit further. Maybe some shorts jumped in a little bit too early, and then some people kept buying this up. Those shorts got squeezed. Now they felt some pain, and it gets up to this daily zone, which TrendSpider actually nailed this perfectly. I didn't even have this trend line on my chart yesterday. I probably would have traded this better. It gets a little bit past that and then bam, rolls over, So, I mean, if I didn't take profit through here, it actually would have dropped back to VWAP and I would have given back a lot of profit. So, and then there, of course, there was that second really good entry that we talked about yesterday, just using the 9 EMA 5-minute on as a guide. But you can't beat it. You really can't beat it. I mean, look how easily I can just kind of scroll around and check different time frames. If you got a really big monitor, you can split it into 4 charts and look at 1 minute versus 5 minute versus hour, 15 versus day. You can get pretty wild with it. And that's it. So I'm just gonna hop off the mic and go make a sandwich. I hope you guys enjoyed the little TrendSpider breakdown. Bring me one. All right, come on over. I hope you like buffalo chicken. Got buffalo chicken sandwich. We're gonna hook it up, and they're gonna take the pooch outside for a walk. You guys are very, very welcome. Again, TrendSpider, you can trade without it. You do not need this to be a good trader. Don't let anybody convince you. Even we might do it by accident. We don't mean to convince you to buy things that you might not need at all. You could very well just end up using indicators on Thinkorswim. Just use regular Thinkorswim or your trading platform. Again, the way that Rose typically streams, you'll notice she doesn't have many indicators, and she's really heavily focused on price action, supply and demand zones, which will teach you how to trade penny stocks. Okay. You really do not. You really can apply a lot of what we're teaching to whatever you want to trade. It could be crypto or Forex. It's all transferable, which is really, really nice. And that's the way we kind of set it up. But we realize new traders, it doesn't fully sink in to your brain yet that a lot of the stuff we're teaching, just because it's a different, type of instrument, that it won't apply to your penny stocks that you really enjoy to trade. So that's why we really want to have a focus in whether or not I hire this person to do penny stocks, we're going to find somebody who loves penny stocks and wants to teach and trade them full time. So most of the team has been trading a long time. They'll dabble in it, but they don't make it their main focus. Somebody who wants to do it for their main focus. That's really our goal to find for the community. And I think I got the guy. So just need to have some more. Yeah, Jordan Belfort. Let's get him in here. Oh, Yeah, be some pumping going on. And that's the other thing too. No matter what we do, we're not going to be pumping BS stocks. That's one of the things that hurts a lot of new traders. They get in, they see a popular trading guru, call out a position. He's already bought by the time you bought. It moves the stock. And if you're brand new, guess what? You're about to get a hard lesson in the stock market. That mirror trading typically sucks. The newer you are, you're slower, you fumble the keys, you get palm sweaty, mom spaghetti, nervous, and then you're losing all kinds of money. And that's a terrible thing to have on your conscience if you're somebody who's trying to help people succeed. So we really try to avoid that lane completely and focus on the educational. Of course, we want you to learn how to make money and be successful and try to do it too. It's just, it all needs to be done very tactfully, because this is real life. It's not a game. The stock market's not a game. With that being said, please paper trade, guys. If you're skipping over paper trading and you have, most of us don't have tens of thousands of dollars to earn, to donate to the market for an education. So it works the same way in terms of mechanics to paper trade. So you need to learn the mechanics. If you can't make money in a trading simulator, what makes you think that you're going to make money in a live trading account? So we write that a lot all over our blog. We try to remind people, it's kind of nagging. I feel like, I'm being your parent by telling you, don't do this, but seriously, don't do it. If you can just paper trade for a while, learn the mechanics, get faster with the keys and understand the nuances, then you can start trading with real money and, just focus on stocks for a while and just trade one share just to kind of see how it moves. You don't have to go, okay, here we go. I got some money. I'm going to go, dump a bunch of, I'm going to buy 1,000 shares of WKHS and figure this out. You don't need to do it that way. So there's really, really good simulators out there, and we got a lot of info on those on our site too. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox, go make that sandwich. You guys have a wonderful day. If I don't talk to you later, we'll see you around. Remember, patience equals profits.